Hello, everyone. Joel Marshall here for Lunch Therapy. So glad you can join us today. It's Crazy Story Week. We're doing some crazy stories. We've got Cynthia Levin here. We've got Kamala Lopez, and they're going to tell some crazy stories, and I'm going to tell a super crazy story as well. Let's get into this thing. It is Crazy Story Week. Okay, here we are, Crazy Story Week. I'm your host, Joel Marshall. This is Lunch Therapy, number 121. As in all Lunch Therapy episodes, we start with some breaths because I need it, and I'm sure you do too. Breathing is life, life is breath, breath is life. And in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it out. This is as much for me as it is for you. You can make comments on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever you happen to be, even Twitter. And oftentimes I put them on the screen. And it can influence the direction of the show. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Cynthia Levin. I always say her name wrong. Cynthia Levin. Anyway, she's a dear friend of mine for many, many years. Someday I'll learn how to say her name correctly. She is she's a regular at the Comedy Store. She's a hilarious comedian. She's gonna be telling the craziest story. Kamala Lopez, my wife, but also an incredibly hilarious actress, performer. Some of you have seen her work. Many of you have. She's going to be telling a crazy story as well. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, my assistant here, sidekick, fellow performer. His name is Boney. He was the one who was jumping into the pool at the beginning. If you didn't see that, you can always go back and watch that. One of the things that we do on the show to just relax, because this is a show about relaxing and letting go of all the crap that's going on in the world, and just for half an hour, and just enjoy some things and have some community. And you're welcome here anytime. Gina, great to see you. Miss you. Yes, we miss you as well, Gina. Great to have you here. We're going to have some funny stuff today. But first, we're going to look at a beaver who is making a dam in a house. So here we go. All right, so this is going to be from a website called The Dodo, or a channel called The Dodo, which is great animal stuff.
He was around and he was building a dam, and I quickly learned that's just what he was doing.
Where are you going with that, JB?
He's really doing an excellent job damming up my door, my stairs, my dishwasher, my bathtub.
The reason they call him JB is his real name is Justin Bieber.
JB did take my daughter's lacrosse stick one day. It's instinct. He needed to move that stick that he found.
So yeah, he's building a dam.
He just stole my front doormat.
One of the themes on this show is that animals are
Something
all
happened to mom, dad, and all his family. He was
like
just one stray little
they all have
orphan.
personalities.
JB
I guess is
short
what I'm trying to
for
say.
Justin
All the
Bieber.
animals, they have personalities. They're a
It
lot
just
like
had
our
to
domestic
be.
pets. Here they have different strengths and weaknesses. This
Currently,
one's strength
JB is
building
me at
dams.
my house. Of course, he was too little
Yeah,
to go out.
Mike Hansen got his
to our
T-shirt.
center. This is the first beaver that I have
Love it.
rehabilitated, and I just cannot believe
There are
how
t-shirts
soft
available,
he
joelmarshall.com. Love him.
They need to
It's
be
a pronunciation.
in water,
That's how I'm
clean
going to
water,
pronounce it
least
from now
4 or
on.
5 times a day. First few times he was getting in a tub, he only wanted to be in there for a couple of minutes. I made sure it was shallow enough for his
Okay,
feet
so
to reach
there's
the bottom.
the pet beaver.
Here we
I
go. You ready?
recommend that you go to this site, YouTube channel, the Dodo.
JB does
Check
make
it
some
out.
awfully cute noises.
What do we have next? We have a bear. So this bear is going to come and sit down next to this guy. That's the whole video. Is the bear, which is a lot, really. I mean, if a bear came and sat down next to me, I think that would qualify as a crazy story, right? So this is a crazy story that has been filmed for our enjoyment. We are going to let him sit down. We're going to wait. It's taking a while to sit down. And you think maybe he's going to sit in that chair. That seems like that would be, that would be a crazy story if he sat in the chair. If he just sits down. Okay. And I'm just going to wait for the bird to fly by. Look at the look on his face. He's like, hey. One of the comments said, hey, did she kick you out too? Anyway, the person survived this. I would be scared. I think that the camera would be shaking if I was doing this. He's like, hey, 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 and then the bear just walks away. The next thing is something that I, want to ask you all about. Apparently it was featured on John Oliver's last week tonight. And it is this thing called the Marble League. Matt Wright pointed this out to me because there are not a lot of sports these days. They're racing marbles on the internet.
Oh, nearly going to have 2 finishers.
We've lost
This is still
our
going to be
marbles.
a great points total, though. They
And-
lost
but
one
we
early.
found them.
Look at that, 109, 120,
So this
and
guy is like
130
one of the great
for a
announcers
380.
of the day.
However,
this is not on the
it will
Dodo.
mean
This is actually
that
on
Minty Maniacs with a 380
this thing.
have
It's
won
called
the first gold of the 2020
Gels
Marble League.
Runs.
Raspberry
And it's
Racers
just
pick up the
totally
silver,
like you're
and
watching
Midnight Wisps
ESPN or
by
something like
just
that.
2
But it's all just
centimeters
marble racing.
The bronze.
I don't Marble League, yeah. Matt gave me this. Matt's here.
25
It's the Marble
points.
League.
That gets
Check out the crowd. Yeah, so the crowd is like they got fans that are the type of marble. You'll see there's like, and then they have, it's serious though. It's a serious competition. And
Galactic
it's
scores 1 point.
mainly, I think, based on gravity. One of my favorite ones is they have like an off-road one, which looks like this. I don't know how this guy does this. It's just, first of all, it's a
4 events
I think he's in the
to make it
Netherlands,
to the big league.
the guy who
here
actually
in the
does it.
showdown for the Marble Rally.
So we'll
hey
just look
everybody,
at this for a
I'm Greg
second.
Woods. 4 races in this video. The top 4 marbles
Yeah, the commitment
of this
is
showdown
so
will
deep
join
on
the
this.
top 12 marbles of the 2019 Marble Rally.
Wait till you
in
see this.
2020.
It's crazy. I
Also,
don't know
a
how they
wild card race
make
between the
a
5th to
marble
8th
run like this.
showdown
Apparently
marbles
there
and the
are other
13th to 16th
marble
Marble Rally
people out
marbles
there, but this
from
is the top of the
2019.
top.
A lot to take in. Let's get right to it.
And I
Down
think
they
they've got
come.
sponsors now. I
Grasshopper
think
out of
John
the chute
Oliver
quickest.
sponsors it.
White Widow next behind, already having a quick look at the
Listen to
lead
this guy.
as they begin to traverse this course. Deep Ocean comes next.
So this is a good
Rastafarian
replacement
and Big
if
Pearl.
you're missing
Then
sports.
A little bit of a
if
team
the
back
whole
behind
NFL
Green
thing doesn't
Turtle,
work
it looks
out,
like, who just gets past
you
as
can
I
always,
say that.
watch the
Top
marble.
2 stretching it out a little bit.
We lost
Having
our
a look,
marbles. I
White
think
Widow
so.
right on the tail of Grasshopper.
Kamala
Also,
loves
in
marbles. She's
third
actually
place, Deep
very
Ocean.
good at marbles. She has informed me.
Fending people
and
off.
I didn't even
While
know
also
that
trying
was
to track
a
down
skill.
those top 2.
I didn't know you could be good at marbles, but I guess.
Grasshopper around the
can.
turn. Remember, this is the first of 4. So
Yeah,
maybe
I'm
this
sure
is the
he
first
does
look
other-
at this course.
also, I
Which
think
will
his
you
name is
take,
Greg
the top line or
Woods.
the bottom?
Greg Woods.
Which is going to be quicker?
Yeah.
Let's see where they shake out.
I'm standing by that.
White Widow has taken the lead.
There are
but
very
that
few
wasn't
facts
because
on
of
the
the
show,
upper line
on this
versus the
show.
lower line. She did that on the
But
same
if
line as
there are,
Grasshopper, and
then
now getting
Greg
hounded
will
by Lollipop. Big Pearl up
All
in
right.
the 3rd place. Is she
Gotta
going to
move
have a
on
look at second
because-
here? Draft.
We have some important stuff to do. Okay. It is Crazy Story Week for those of you who have been in an entire self-contained universe of marble racing. Ganell's trying to move me along because he knows I've got my own crazy story at the end of the show. But first, the incredible Kamala Lopez, she's going to be telling us this crazy story about, well, I don't want to give it away, but I'm going to show a picture here of something, and it will become relevant in the show. See this beautiful, beautiful dress? That's a visual for you. Here's the show.
I remember this one time. I was actually in Paris. I was really young. I think it was either my first or second time in Paris.
Oh, yeah?
And a friend of mine who I had just met in this acting program was Sandy Meisner. You know Sandy Meisner, very
Yeah,
famous.
the repetition.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Exactly. So I met this actress there. She was a really tall, beautiful black girl who worked as a model. And she said, look, if you're going to Paris, you have to stop by my friend's studio because he's got a bunch of clothes for me, and they're very expensive. I didn't know anything about fashion.
Oh,
I know.
yeah, no kidding. Look at you.
Okay. Well, some
Sheesh.
people might have thought I knew something.
Who are
about
they?
fashion. I guess
well.
not. But anyway, point is, she sends me over there. I go in Paris to the studio of this famous designer. His name was
What was his name?
Azadine Alai.
Oh, Alaya.
You know,
Alaya, the one with the skin, very
Yes,
tight, very
exactly.
skinny.
so
Very
I go
80s.
in there, and first of all, the weird thing
What
is
was weird?
it's completely clean and empty. It's like a
Yeah.
square, and there's just hanging clothes on these very minimalist bars. And I'm just looking at them, I'm waiting. The lady comes in and she goes, what are you here for? And I said, oh, no, I'm not here to shop.
Yeah.
I'm just here to pick up some stuff for my friend Alva from Mr. Alaya. And she goes, oh, well, let me go and get him.
Get him?
I said, no, just, the clothes. So she goes away, she comes back, and in the meantime, I'm looking at these clothes, and I'm noticing there are no price tags
Oh, that's a bad
of
sign.
any kind, anywhere
Oh,
in the
no.
whole place.
That's
And I'm
not
like,
good.
That's so weird.
Not
I wonder
good.
if maybe this stuff is like, belongs to somebody already, or I don't know. The lady comes back in and she goes, Mr. Elias is going to come down in a minute, but in the meantime, you should try something on, I'm sure he'll love for you to have something from
Wow.
here. And I thought,
Why not?
okay. I kind of felt like I would be insulting
Yeah.
if I didn't try something on, but
Of
honestly,
course.
none of it looked like anything that I would ever wear because it was obviously made for really tall, skinny ladies, really tall people, very skinny. And
Yeah.
which I
No need to say anything.
so
Tall and skinny,
I
you're
tried
not.
this thing on. It's the only thing. It's just like this white dress. First of all, the V of the dress from where it cuts, it's like this.
That's your belly button.
So literally, this entire part of your body is out there, and then
Oh,
it's like
God.
it's like a leotard, like it snaps underneath, and then it has this skirt that goes down that's got all these sort of see-through panels. So it's like
sexy.
very tight. It's got this V. You clip it under. It's got this thing. It's
Yeah,
just
you
very,
can't handle that
and
sort of
white,
thing.
white, really, really white, which is, whatever. So all of a sudden, I'm wearing this thing. All of a sudden, from upstairs, I guess that's where his studio is, or this little guy comes running down the stairs, and I think he was wearing a skirt. I don't know. But I do remember that he had something tied around his waist with huge scissors on it.
Oh, no.
And he looked at me, and he twirled me around. He walked around. He was looking at me in this outfit of his. And then he's looking kind of skeptically because obviously it
Yeah.
looked ridiculous. It didn't
No, not
suit
for
me
you.
at all. And he just took out these huge pair of scissors
Oh,
off
no.
of his thing, and he just cut
Oy.
the dress while I was standing there, right off of
Oh,
my
my
body.
God.
Cut it like, I don't know,
Holy
a foot and a half
moly.
off the bottom. And I was just like, oh. And he goes, voila,
c'est parfait, c'est très bien, c'est très joli, c'est magnifique.
And I thought, okay. And then he went off. The lady comes back in with a package of clothes for Alva, and she hands me a bill.
A what?
A bill for $1,500.
Oh my God! This is unbelievable.
I didn't have $15.
That's crazy.
Well, look,
That's a crazy story.
$100. Bonnie, my rent at that point was $700 a month, and I didn't know
that's
how I was
pretty
going to
good.
pay that.
Oh
Oh my
man.
God. I was so upset by this.
I can
I
imagine.
never wore that dress.
Oh.
Not once.
Ooh. What a crazy story. That's a crazy story right there.
That is a crazy story. What I want to know is, did you pay the money? Knowing Kamala, she probably paid for it. She's probably like, okay, let me get another job and then I'll pay for it. I think that was a scam. You know, and the stack of clothes that was going to the model, that was probably free. That's the weird thing. All right, so now we're in the Trash Panda Comedy Club, and we're going to bring on another crazy story, because it's Crazy Story Week, and we're going to keep them coming. We're going to keep them coming all week until Friday, when it's going to culminate in an interview with the world champion planker. Yes. The what? I have to watch the rerun. Yeah, you have to. Matt was right. That was Boney. Neil was wrong. It wasn't Nina, Kamala's sister. But it was a good guess. They do sound kind of similar. Hold on here. I got a little intro here that I'm going to play for you. It's Crazy Story Week. Got a crazy story I don't understand. Come and have a cup of tea. Seems like I should have got a Netflix deal. Instead I got some therapy. Crazy story, yeah. Crazy story.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Cynthia Levin. Still Cynthia Levin. Anyway, so hey Joel, hey everybody. I say everybody, I do hope there is a somebody, and maybe there's an everybody, God only knows. Listen, so this is I'm sharing with you a crazy story, and we'll see how it goes. What do you think about that? All right, so anyway, so when I was in my early 20s, I was living in Los Angeles with my coke addict, steroid addict, abusive bodybuilder boyfriend named Goldilocks, because he had long golden locks. It was so exciting. When we had sex, it was like, is it you or is it me? Is it you or is it me? I'm kidding, we didn't have sex. So anyway, what ended up happening was, so my sister was getting married, right? And I wasn't very close with my family, you know, for, I don't know, like all the reasons. And, but I was going back home for my sister's wedding. She was the first person in the family to get married. So it was like kind of a big deal, but you also don't know how do you prepare for something like this. Anyway, I was bringing Steve, who nobody really knew. They knew I moved out to LA with him, and my mother gave us maps and his mother gave us sandwiches, but other than that, his mother didn't know me, and my parents didn't know him. They just knew that I walked around with black eyes from time to time. Anyway, things were really good. Listen, my whole life's been good. I'm not going to lie about it. So anyway, I know, jealousy, it's ridiculous. You just calm down, all right? You can have one too. So anyway, so to go to this wedding, we had to get Steve a suit, you know, and of course, because I'm the breadwinner, because I was a waitress. So waitresses are always the breadwinners. We make a lot of money and things are good. And he couldn't keep a job because he wouldn't cut his hair because he was bouncing, and even the bouncer, the Rainbow, wanted him to cut his hair. Can you believe that? Actually, that was the only place I kept him. That's a true story. So anyway, so what ended up happening was I had to buy him the suit. So we go to Melrose, and I don't know if you've ever been to Melrose, but it's absolutely sickening. And please don't go to Melrose. Please don't go to Melrose. Don't ever go to Melrose. Don't even think about going to Melrose. Anyway, so we go to Melrose, and we get him a suit. And we're looking at the suit, and he wanted to buy this like cream-colored, I don't know, blousey silk suit. And I guess because there's only so many jackets, suits fit on the beast's body, right? So he wanted something cream colored to match his blondish cream colored hair, you know, and his stupid tan. Anyway, he wanted this suit. It was really expensive, and it shouldn't have been worn or bought by anybody, but he wanted it. And I was just like, it's really expensive. I just, you know. So of course we got into a fight, because that's what you do. Because if you speak, there's going to be a fight. Silence was usually how we operated. So now there's a fight. And he leaves, and then of course I have to go follow. I'm a very healthy person. So anyway, I guess what ended up happening was he went back there without me. We left. He went back there without me, and I think he did his trick, which was either sucking the guy's dick in order to get the suit for a cheaper price, or he switched the tags. I can't remember which one it was, because he did do both of those. Everything's fine, you guys. I'm not scared. Are you? I don't know if he really sucked people off. He would just show people his body, and that was enough for a lot of those people that he would get things from. Anyway, everything's fine, right? And so we're in LA, of course, you know, so these things happen, all right? So he gets a suit. He comes back with a suit, and I'm just thinking, this is so not right for my family, because we're Jewish and there's taste involved. That's one good thing. Anyway, so well, my sister was in fashion. Anyway, you know, whatever. So, but he gets a cream-colored popsicle suit, what the fuck it was, and we go to the wedding, and it's not really fun, because I'm basically like he's my captor, and I'm being held hostage, and I don't talk to anybody there. It's like the two of us and then everybody else, and we were alone basically, even though there were 500 people at this wedding who I did not talk to. Okay. Nice to see everybody. Just came here from Los Angeles. That was it. So anyway, what ends up happening is that they have the ceremony, and it's really lovely. And my sister's wearing like a pale pink gown, and she's got like beads on her forehead, and she looks like an Indian princess, and she's stunning, you know, and it's lovely. And then we go for cocktail hour. And then what ends up happening is this cocktail hour. I mean, by the way, nobody knows how to social, and like nobody in my family are really good at being social. So a cocktail hour, being farther beyond just shoving food in your face and drinking something super fast, is going to be too long. So anything beyond that is unnecessary, unwelcome, and unacceptable. Well, what happens is the room where the wedding's party is supposed to be is not ready. And it's not ready. It's not ready. And it's not ready. 4 hours of not ready. So some people actually leave before we even go in there, right? So it's 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. And now we're allowed to go into the big room and have a great old time, you know. Now people are like, you know. So what ends up happening is that, so immediately the music starts, right? The hora, if you guys haven't been to a Jewish wedding, it's people hold hands, they go in a circle, and then they come together, and they go back again, and they come together, and they go back again, and, you know, that whole, you know, like, right? And it's like, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, and then it went on for like 60 seconds, and then all of a sudden you hear, you know, whatever, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Turned out an old man had a heart attack while he was doing the hora, right? Because that's how you want to go, right? Somebody else's celebration. He had a heart attack, and so everything stopped, of course. But luckily, you know, being a Jewish wedding, everybody there was a doctor. So all 500 people literally swarmed this man, and then, of course, now he's dead because he can't breathe, you know. No, I'm kidding, he didn't die. I don't really know, I never found out. They got him out of there, all right? I don't know what happened to him. I'm sure he's fine. Well, I'm sure he's dead now, but anyways. Anyway, it was such a great party. It was pretty much over. after that. It's kind of like hard to like, woo, all right, you know, who else wants to die? So that was that. So Steve got to wear that fucking suit, and I got to be held hostage while my family watched. And my sister wore a pale pink wedding dress with beads on her forehead, and an old man died during the horror. And the party was over as soon as it started. And that's pretty much been my life. The party was over as soon as it started. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. All the best. Cheers. Ciao. Bye. Thanks, Joel.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Hilarious and horrifying at the same time. Thank you, Cynthia Levin, for being on the show. Jeff Scott, the entertainer, says brava, brava. Yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, hilarious and dark and scary and all at the same time, which I would expect nothing less from Cynthia. I had this whole really crazy story that I was going to tell you, but instead I think I'm going to tell you like just a small story because we're running out of time. And it's, you know, I will save the gigantic, epic, crazy story for another day, perhaps tomorrow. Depends. We're going to be having a lot more crazy people on the show. I like what Todd Lee says, because we're kind of defining what a crazy story is. A crazy story is something you can't follow, has no point. Confucius say, you can't understand crazy, so don't. Yeah, that's a crazy story for you. So here's my crazy story. It's a weird little anecdote. When I was living in Chicago, I was working on a play called Wrong Turn at Lungfish by Gary Marshall. And I was invited first to sit and watch the play before I started working on it. And I was going to work backstage doing various things. So they sat me in the house seats. And in the theater, the house seats are like 4 seats that they reserve in case, you know, the president comes in and wants to see the play. They always have some seats. So I'm sitting in the house seats with my friend Caleb. And Caleb's on my left-hand side. And all of a sudden, the next person who's sitting in the house seats comes in. And it's Ali Sheedy, the famous actress. And she sits down, and this was, I don't know, 1989 perhaps. She sits down, and apparently she's watching the play, and I don't know where she came from, but I'm just like, oh my God, I'm totally starstruck. Caleb is like, oh my God, pinch me. I'm sitting next to Ali Sheedy. And so I was so jealous that he was sitting next to her. At the intermission, I said to him, you know, we have to switch seats, because I get to sit next to Ali Sheedy. So I sat next to her. I was sitting next to her. And being the weird, creepy person I guess I was, I said to her, hey, how's it going? And she's very nice. It's going great. And then we had a little conversation. And, you know, I had read something that she had been in rehab or something. I don't know. That's what I thought. So I was like, I'm going to ask her out, but not for a drink or, you know, drugs or anything like that. I'm going to just, what should I ask her out for? And I thought, you know, I'll ask her out for pie. So I said, hey, Ali Sheedy, do you want to go out for pie? And she's, you know, kind of creeped out probably. She says, you know, I can't tonight, but I'm going to be rehearsing because I'm going to be in this play. I'm substituting out for Laurie Metcalf, and so you can just, you know, send me a message and we'll go out for pie. Go out for lunch sometime. Yeah, pie. I was super suave guy. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do now? That was kind of a brush off, I thought. But it was kind of nagging at me that she had said, let's go out for lunch. And I was, you know, young, taking chances. And I thought, oh, I'll write her a card in rehearsals. And I'll just send it to the rehearsal. And it'll be very nice. I got this weird card with a crow on it. it was too weird in retrospect. It probably should have been more friendly, less creepy. But it had like a crow, like a giant crow standing in the street. It didn't mean anything. And crows, I mean, people have weird stigmas about crows. So I just said, hey, I wondered if you still wanted to go out for lunch. And maybe I was influenced by When Harry Met Sally. So I sent the thing over there. And then shortly thereafter, I got my job on the play. And what I was the dresser who would do quick changes. When somebody came off stage, I would quick change them. And John Mahoney and Laurie Metcalf. And I would have to Laurie Metcalf would come up, she'd hold a bar, and I'd just take the dress off of her and put on like the next clothes, and then she'd run on stage. And so that was my job. I was doing that job. Ali Sheedy was rehearsing. I sent her that card. And then she stepped into the role for Laurie Metcalf. And now all of a sudden I was her dresser. So now the creepy guy who was asking her out for pie was now, it was very awkward thing. And I just never talked about it again, right? We just, did the job. She was doing the thing. I was kind of nervous. One day I actually forgot to set John Mahoney's pajamas. And he came off stage, they weren't there, and he was just like, he was so cool. He's like, don't worry about it. No big deal. John Mahoney was the dad on Frasier after that. And then one day we're backstage, and Ali Sheedy turns to me and she says, and she came off stage and she's going to, go back on stage. She says, I got your card. And she said it kind of in a friendly way. And at that moment, behind her, a mirror fell off the wall and shattered onto the floor. And then she was like, and she ran on stage. And that was the last time we talked about that. Yeah. So that's my crazy story for today. I hope you enjoyed Kamala Lopez, Cynthia Levin. I want to say Levine, I think is the thing. And that's what I've always said, Levine. But I think that's wrong. I'm going to go with Levin. All right, dance break time. We're going to be dancing to one of my favorite YouTube performers. And I hope, if you haven't seen this guy, I hope he will be yours as well. He has a YouTube channel. But it's a crazy story. Sure. You're welcome for the lunch chuckles. I like it. Thanks for being here, everybody. Here's the dance break. Justin Johnson, extraordinary guitar player. I welcome you to check him out. I'm just going to play a little bit of his song, and then we'll see you tomorrow. This guy is a virtuoso, and he is just putting out video after video. He's up to 800,000 followers. I don't know. He's about to hit a lot of followers. So follow him. I think you can actually win a free guitar. It's also a great website to check out different kinds of guitars because he plays all kinds of different guitars, and he even plays a shovel. There you go. That'll get you to his channel if you haven't seen the shovel. Yeah, Chris Stapleton song. Todd knows his music. That Todd. I love this. All right, try to dance the rest of the day. Dance through the rest of the day. Keep breathing. And stay away from that news cycle. Just for a little bit of time. All right, see you tomorrow for more crazy stories.